So here we're subtracting algebraic fractions. This is not an equation, there's no equal sign, I'm just combining two fractions into one. When I do this, the first thing I need to do is factor both of these denominators because I need to find my least common denominator. So this factors into y minus 4 times y plus 3. Always check and make sure you have it factored properly. If you need to, please expand it out so you don't make an error there. Y minus 4 times y minus 9. And again, just check and make sure you have it factored properly. Now I can look at these and find my least common denominator. My least common denominator is going to be y minus 4 times y plus 3 times y minus 9. I like to write them down on the paper here because then I have them back to easily refer to them as I'm working the problem. So we're going to first notice on this first fraction, my denominator doesn't have the y minus 9, so I'm going to multiply numerator and denominator by y minus 9. When I do that, I'm going to make sure to put this in parentheses, as I want to make sure to distribute across the parentheses. And then I'm going to do just that. On the denominator, I'm going to leave in factored form like this. In the numerator, in order to combine these two fractions, I have to expand out the numerator. So I'm going to expand out the numerator here. 4y squared minus 2y minus 36y plus 18. And that's going to be 4y squared minus 36y plus 18. I'm going to write that down here at the bottom below this so I don't have things all messed up. It helps to keep your work ordered. Use lots of paper. Trees are cheap relative to tuition. So use the paper, keep your work ordered. So I'm just going to write this down here. So now I have this first term with my least common denominator. Now I need to go back to the second term. Here my denominator has y minus 4 times y minus 9. And it needs a y plus 3. So I'm going to multiply numerator and denominator by y plus 3. Again, I'm going to make sure to put parentheses around this term to make sure that I distribute properly across the whole term. So this is going to give me y squared plus 3y minus 14y minus 42, which is going to give me y squared minus 11y minus 42. And I'm going to write that down here. It's a subtraction problem, so I'm going to put my subtraction there, and I'm going to put down y squared minus 11y minus 42 over y minus 9 times y minus 4 times y plus 3. Okay, so you can see that I brought down this numerator right here. Now my denominators are the same, my numerators are all expanded as they should be. I am subtracting, so I'm going to make sure to put this in parentheses because I need to distribute that negative. Because I have common denominators, I can just subtract my numerators. So I'm going to rewrite everything again. 4y squared minus, this should be 38. Sorry about that. You were probably all yelling at the screen. 38y minus 38y plus 18. And then this minus, I'm going to distribute it as I write it down here. Minus y squared plus 11y plus 42. All that is going to be over my least common denominator, which is y minus 4 times y plus 3 times y minus 9. I've now combined my terms. I still need to simplify. So here I've got 4y squared minus y squared gives me 3y squared. Minus 38y plus 11y gives me minus 27y. Plus 18 plus 42 gives me plus 60. So now I've combined all my like terms, but I'm not done yet. There's my least common denominator. So now I'm going to factor my numerator to see if it simplifies, if my fraction simplifies any further. First I'm going to factor out a 3 from each term. Gives me y squared minus 9y plus 20, and that's still all over my least common denominator. And then I'm going to factor this polynomial. It's going to give me y minus 5, y minus 4. And again, I'm going to rewrite it so it's neat. 3 times y minus 5 times y minus 4. That's my numerator, over y minus 4 times y plus 3 times y minus 9. This is going to give me, right here, my y minus 4s will divide out. So that will give me in the numerator 3 times y minus 5 divided by y plus 3 times y minus 9. You can leave this in this form. You do not need to expand this back out. Usually I suggest leaving it here in factored form because depending on what we do with it next, we may need it factored. So there you go.